Hey guys, welcome back to the High Performance Build here in Atlanta. This is my own family's home. I am here building it today and I wanted to show you something that's kind of an interesting decision that we had to make that has a lot to do with building performance, a lot to do with building science theory, and it's hard to test for this kind of thing right now, but because I test other people's homes, I was able to make a decision based on the test data that I've got from lots and lots of other homes, hundreds of other homes. So you can see right here, the floor joists of floor 2 are going this way. Those are engineered pieces of lumber, and over here we go to dimensional lumber and they go the opposite direction. That is because this is a feature of my master bedroom ceiling that turns into this. Now, that is called a cantilevered deck. This is going to be an outside space. So above we've got floor, and so this right there is all going to be unconditioned space on the other side of that. So where we're not going to have insulation here because we've got a second floor that's conditioned, we will want to insulate there. Now the decision that we have to make is how are we going to define the enclosure, meaning how are we going to air seal this thing and insulate it. Obviously I want insulation in there, so I am going to put insulation into that cavity, which means that I'm also going to want to, of course, air seal it, because insulation without air sealing doesn't do what you think it's going to do. And in fact, it might do bad things, because if you insulate something without air sealing it as well, you will potentially grow mold because of the insulation that you added, because you're changing the temperature relationships. So here, the decision is whether we're going to have you can see my wall, which is the air sealing layer. The insulation is going to go outside and inside of this. You'll see that later when we work with the rock wall. But right now, my decision is to take the enclosure and go up in a straight line and block through these cavities so that the plane is all right here and it goes up to the deck above. And then we air seal the top of the deck back to the house. And also, that's a water membrane. And for that, I would use Solitex Mento, which is what we're putting on the roof. That's going to go on the outside of the plywood decking that we're putting up here. The plywood decking is important because, remember, over here, that's going to have to act a lot like the rest of the house. So we're going to want some kind of a sheathing on that. The deck that's on the front of the house, there's a balcony up there, that's not going to have subfloor in it. It's just going to be decking. So if you spill water over there, it'll drip right through and you'll be able to look up and see it coming down. But here, instead of blocking and then not insulating this 2-foot cantilever, this 2-foot jut out, because what that would mean if I was to block it is I'd have to cut blocks for each one of these, and then I'd have to tape all of the seams inside of each one of those cavities. Instead, what I have elected to do is to go ahead and run the force field membrane here, and then take the Solitex Mento and run it out on the bottom side of this, wrap it up on the outside, and then take it back in on the floor. So this entire sandwich here is going to be all conditioned space, and that has a lot to do with zonal pressure testing. And if you don't know what that's about, go check out our other videos on that. But you essentially want all of your spaces inside of a home to be either inside space or outside space. So having something here where I was going to maybe insulate it but not air seal it the same way as the rest of the house, or air seal it the same way as the house but not insulate it the same as the rest of the house, those are very dangerous things to do, because not energy efficiency, but because you're not sure what temperature and relative humidity it's going to be inside that space, and so you don't know when you're going to have to control condensation. So that's just a long-winded way of saying I had to make this decision. The structural engineer actually did not help me on this one. They specified pressure-treated lumber for this deck because they thought it was going to be a deck. I don't want any pressure-treated lumber inside my space that's not going to be exposed to the weather. So of course, all of this is not pressure-treated because I don't want those minerals to be inside my house, potentially affecting my indoor chemistry. So I hope that this has helped you. It certainly helps me to think about these things each and every day on every part of this build. We'll have more stuff coming soon about the roof and the floor system up there. So please do comment, like, subscribe, stay tuned. See you next time.